to share with you the group research project on the Tesla company. What I would present today it would be a highlight of the important parts because the complete presentation would be more than 30 minutes and would be very boring for all of you. So I decided to just pick some of the highlights. The agenda of today is executive summary and then the competitive priorities. Then we talk about the order winners and order qualifiers. The next step would be the supply chain and logistics strategies. And then we talk about the identified operational weakness or opportunities. In the next step, we offer some recommendation, and at the last step, we offer an implementation plan. All of us know that the Tesla is the main producer of the electrical vehicles, EV cars, and they started from last year to enter into other new markets like AI and energy sectors. So they will no longer only be the EV car producer. They changed the vision of the company, the business model of the company. Regarding the AI, they introduced two robots. One is the Optimus, its name is Optimus, and actually it's created to work in the factories instead of the normal worker in the factory. They can use the Optimus. It results in the reduction of the cost and improve the efficiency of the factory. On the other hand, many layoffs will occur during the incoming decade because of using this kind of robots. Another type of robots is a digital Optimus. The project name is the Macro Heart. They will be used in the office and they facilitate working the document in the network. In the energy sector, they produce the power station. Tesla entered into this market and created a new powerhouse that can generate megawatts of the electricity. And the main place of use is in the rural area where the electricity network cannot go or it's very costly. Also in the project sites, as you know, many projects has been installed outside of the cities. Also, we can use those mentioned at the powerhouse in case of the emergency need in the specific place. Tesla introduced a new manufacturing process. Its name is Unbox. In this new manufacturing process, they use a modular approach instead of the traditional use in the traditional factories. As you know, the factory receive parts and try to assemble them. In these factories, the work is based on the modular sub-assemblies. It means that they gather all the spare parts and assemble them to each other and create a bigger main parts which includes many small parts. It has many good results for the factory. For example, the leading time will be reduced and the dependency to the other producer of the small parts will be deducted. Regarding the future of the Tesla, they have two main plans working on them. One is the commercializing of the robotaxi, which is an autonomous car, and it actually is a taxi network without a driverless taxi network. You just call for a cab, the car came to your front of your home, and there is no driver inside it, and it will drive you to your destination. Another one is the Optimus mentioned at the robotic system. They should integrate these robots to the manufacturing line and try to produce a huge amount of that. In case of the success, Tesla can offer these robots to the market and other factories try to use those mentioned robots in their production, right? One of the key vulnerability of the Tesla is the using the phrases like autopilot and safe driving, self-drive in their marketing and advertisement, and it create a lot of problem for them. In the incoming slide, we talked about it more. And if you go to website of Tesla, you will see they have added the phrase supervised in front of the self-drive. So it means that you cannot let car goes by itself. You have to keep an eye on it. Other qualifiers of the Tesla is the minimum 400 km range and 5-star crash test rating. This range enables the driver to plan for a long range traveling. That is, the Tesla cars are able to do that. And the crash test, I think all of you or have seen the in the videos that there are a cement based wall, and the car drive directly to the wall, and they try to capture the video and to see what would be the reaction of the car in this accident. The Tesla's rating is very high in this test, and both of them created the order qualifiers. It means that the customers put the name of the Tesla in their shortlist because of these mentioned abilities that their car have. Other winners of the Tesla is the full self-driving capability. You can leave the steer of the car and just mention determine where is the target destination of your travel, and car try to drive you to that area. Supercharger network, we talked about it. And another one is the branches that as a leader in the sustainable technology. As you know, Tesla have a very reputable brands in the car technology, and it helps him to be a order winner when the customer try to compare them with the other car factories. The sourcing, the strategy of this Tesla in the sourcing is the direct partnership. They need to a lot of the nickel, lithium, and cobalt to produce their battery, and in their powerhouse technology. They try to, instead of talking with the local presenter of the big mine companies, they reach out directly to them and try to buy in the bulk a huge amount of the mentioned raw materials. Also, they have a plan in the Texas for the processing of some of the raw materials they need, and it results on their supply chain resilience against the problems that may happen in the market. Also, the total finished cost of the raw material they need will be significantly reduced. There are many factories Tesla has in the Texas, and some pilots implemented in that state. A few years ago, they ran a big tender. They invited 5 states and talked to them about the new factories they are planning to do, and asked them what you can provide to us. For example, big lands we need, infrastructure, water, for example, we need, and we should pay a lot of tax. How much you can reduce the tax we should pay? In return, we create a lot of jobs. And the Texas won that tender, and it resulted to creating of many factories in the Texas. Another was in inventory management. They use modified just in time for their factories, and it results in the improving the handling of the raw materials, and they also have a buffer stock for some components, and it prevent the assembly lines shutdown. They are very interested in the local logistics network because they provide a lower price, and they support each drivers because they want to keep the Tesla as a big client for themselves. And they implement this logistics strategy, especially in the gigafactories they have, and they have a special plan to find the location suitable for the gigafactories. Um, for example, factors they consider is the proximity to the target market, transportation hubs, for example, um, the main highways or railways or close to the ports is very important for them. Access to skilled labor pools is another factor they consider. For example, there are many car factories located in the southwest of the Ontario, um, from the Kitchener, Ingersollrand, uh, south of London. There are a lot of car factories, and if a new company in the car factory one interested to enter into the Canada's market, this area is very good because there are many people having experience of working in the car factories, living here, and looking for job. The SWOT analysis of the Tesla, the main strengths are vertical integration. We talked about it, market leadership. Big portion of the market belongs to the Tesla. Supercharger network, we talked about it, and the manufacturing efficiency. We have some KPIs that we will talk about it in the two slide forward, and I will provide more information regarding that efficiency. The weakness they have, one is the premium pricing. As you know, the cost of the Tesla cars is very high, and at least the customers should be above the average income to enable to buy such a luxury cars. This limits the market for the Tesla. Another one is the production complexity. There are many reports that I found the indicating there are production complexity, and those who have commented on this have a very good background on the engineering in the car field. The another weakness is the executive concentration. As you know, the Tesla become image of Elon Musk become the image of the Tesla, and everything he do has a direct impact on the Tesla, and it becomes a weakness for Tesla. If one day in the future Elon Musk do something very wrong, that may be possible, it happened for everyone, it can adversely impact on the Tesla. Opportunities, the supply chain regionalization. The Tesla have many gigafactories in the Europe, in the China is located in the Shanghai, and also in the US. If they can implement a regionalization, which it means to try to use local raw materials, local suppliers, it can reuse total finished cost of them and provide a sustainable sourcing opportunity for them. It may come to your mind that we talked about vertical integration, why they are using uh, another way to use the local materials. They always try to run a feasibility study before running into the vertical integration to ensure that it will create a good income for the company. If the usage is very low, they can not enter to that business. For example, the number of the glasses of the car, is limited, and usually they don't broke, they don't need to be replaced like the other spare part of the engine, so they don't enter to the glass factory business. Expansion of the energy storage. The megapack mentioned here, according to the financial report of the 2025 of Tesla, the income from the energy storage has been increased by 27%, and it will continue to rise, and they should focus on it and keep this two-digit growth within incoming years. Commercializing of the autonomous networks. They have two autonomous networks. One was the robotaxi. I talked about it a few slides before. Another one is the cybercab. It's a car that they don't have any steer, any pedal, and when you sit on the car, all you see is a panel, is a very big panel like a TV that communicate with the driver. For example, you can drive to your workplace, but you can ask the car, go back to the home and come back at the 5 p.m. to pick up me. In this way, you don't pay for the parking, or ask the car, before coming to pick up me, go to the school and pick up my son, then come here. Or you buy some goods, put in the car, trunk of the car, and ask you to go to the home. Your wife is there, and they can receive the what the grocery you have been done, and then car return back to your workplace to pick up you. They should focus on those mentioned new autonomous technologies. The intense the competition, the biggest competitor they have faced is the BYD of China. And as you know, recently in the news we heard that the BYD is going to enter to the Canada car market. However, they have limited the number of cars they can sell to by 50,000 cars. But in the other markets, there are a lot of the uh, cars produced by the BYD, and based on their lower price compared to Tesla's high price, they have good opportunity for growth, which means it's a treat for the Tesla. Another one is the regulatory issues. Tesla are using phrases like autopilot, full self drive, and those mentioned phrases are creating some treat for them, because it when you use such a mentioned phrase, it means that the driver can't rely on it and close its eye. But in the real world, there are a lot of problem behind that, and they cannot do this. Raw material, as you know, the world is going to face the war of the resources. We have a very limited resource in the world, and competition on the ownership are very high. And as you have heard, the US show interest on the Canada and the Greenland. Most of it is because of the resource, and they know what will happen after some decades. The number of resource will be reduced, and the owner of the resource have very power to run the world. Something recently I learned regarding the Greenland: if the all ices in the Greenland try to melt, Greenland will have the 20% of the uh, potable water in the world. There are a lot of water in the sea, but you should install very expensive water treatment to make that water usable for the uh, human. Some of the KPIs of the Tesla: the production cycle time in the Shanghai Gigafactory reached to 30 seconds per unit. For a compare, the Toyota companies Production cycle time is around 1 minute per car. Reference Professor Azim. Yeah, you can compare and see how they are working very hard and how efficiency has their factory in their gigafactory in the Shanghai has. The loss of sales in the China's market will be very low because of this very high production cycle time they have. It means Tesla can uh, respond to any market need very easy due to their high capacity of the production they have. The another production cycle time is for their new technology unboxed factory manufacturing system that I mentioned is as one of the competitive advantage of the Tesla. For the mentioned factory, the production cycle time would be around 10 seconds, which means they are able to respond to any market demand very quickly. Another one is the inventory turnover ratio is 6.5. It means that they are using their capital and moving the parts in their local gigafactories very well. It's a very high number compared to other car factories. The annual vehicle deliveries they reach to 1.636 million units, 1,636,000 units. In 2025, they faced a 8.6% decline, and they are studying market to find what was the reason behind that. Another one is in the energy sector. The they reached to 46.7 gigawatt of the electricity production and the year-to-year increase of the 49%, which is a very huge number. It shows that the Tesla is very successful in this field. Identified weakness Tesla facing is the legal and the regulatory liability for autonomous systems. They frequently use the full self-driving and autopilot, as I mentioned before. They face a $243 million sue in the Europe market because of the using the autopilot liability, and another one is the in the state of the California, they using the terms autopilot and full self-driving for the marketing purpose is restricted. All of them shows that they should pay more attention to what they are using in their marketing because of the reaction of the markets was not so good, and they should focus on these to avoid the financial risk that they may face in the future. The implementation plan for this to solve this problem includes 4 steps. The first step, they should audit all the marketing material they have on document or in their website everywhere, and what phrases and terms they are using to avoid facing the similar cases in the future. Another one is instead of using phrases like autopilot and FSD, full self-driving, they can use other phrases like supervised semi-autonomous driving. The next task that should be performed is the adding some information to the materials that be delivered to the customers that they should indicating that they should pay attention during the driving in line with what regulatory requirement has been advised. In the last step, they should gather information and show reaction to all the current suits they are facing by the class action suites to because if they don't show reaction, other competitors try to talk to their government and try to plan for more sue against them. This table shows the implementation plan and for the regulatory and legal alignments, forecast and duration of the suggested for them, and it's supposed that it will be started in the April and will take time to until the March 27 to be implemented, and result will take more time to show itself to the market. That was my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, please let me know. I am available to answer your question.